Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's November 26th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And real quickly, this is going to wrap up our week. I'm going to take tomorrow off, and then Thursday and Friday are holidays. I think the market does trade till noon, but don't try to trade that stuff. There's no volume, and there's no real sense of direction. All your professional traders they won't be trading. It'll just be probably just retail traders, a few handful of retail traders out there trying to trade it. But don't waste your time with that stuff. It's just a waste of your time. So I'll be taking the rest of the week off. So I won't be back until Monday. I believe it's December 2nd. So hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving and enjoy your time away if you with your family if they're coming or you're visiting or whatever. If you're traveling, be safe and we'll see you next Monday. But let's get on to the chart lesson. Uh, Big bullish day today. You can see that the market opened, traded down, reversed, and we closed almost on the high today. We made a new low and also made a new high today as far as the previous bar goes. So definitely an up day today, and this thing continues to push higher. So we did get a good bit of sideways stuff as well, as you'll see when we flip over there. But in the end, we traded higher and we closed higher. So let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart, take a look at it. Here's the day on the daily chart. You can see it's a nice bullish type reversal type day. Um, be interested to see if we get any follow through tomorrow or not. But anyway, I'm going to flip over to the 2,000 tick chart now, and we'll take a look at that and we'll go through the trades. Okay, here's our 2,000 tick chart. You can see we traded up during the overnight. Um, we got a break just before 8:30, and we kind of just chopped sideways there. Had a little failed breakout the low side, and what we were doing there was coming back and filling this gap. There was a gap. We closed here yesterday, and when we opened at 8:30, we were up here at the yellow line, so we needed to fill that gap. And you can see once we filled that gap, it was a good chance we were going higher, and we shot up. We filled out the upper side, pushed up, made a measured move, a little bit more actually, and then we pulled back and tested the range highs again and ended up getting another spike and channel up, and we closed almost on the high today. So interesting day. A lot of it we were spent just chopping and going sideways. Really, most of the regular trading day was spent sideways to slightly up, and most of that rally came in the overnight, and the rest of it came uh, pretty much late in the afternoon, after lunchtime. So, not a lot of volume in that move either, to be honest. So, uh, there was a news item. We had there was a medium one at 8, but we had a high one at 9 there, a couple of others too. We had the consumer confidence, which is the one you have to be concerned. And you can see there was a little bit of action here. It didn't last very long, so you want to be flat for that. There were some FOMC meeting notes at 1 o'clock. Don't worry about those. There's nothing you can do about those. So be aware of them in case something crazy does happen. But generally, there's not much you can do about those. So anyway, I'm trying to zoom in here a little more. And of course, we're working up during the overnight, and 7 o'clock comes just as we're kind of chopping back to the trend line here, and we got a confirmed trend line here, and you can see we make a new high, and you get a first entry, and you pull back here, and you actually get a second entry right here. Um, I didn't like this one. You technically could have entered there too. You could have entered either spot. Let's go ahead and mark that one too. But this was a double top basically, so I felt like that's a first entry, and so I was really waiting on the second entry. But you could count it as a first entry, second entry. You can count it both ways. It just depends on how it looks. So and this does look, because we're in a range here, you're really not that interested in second entries anyway. But the bigger picture is a trend, so a second entry at the key entry point might be pertinent. So I think you can trade that either way. I waited for the second entry from the new high, and I liked entering there. But you could have entered here as well, and both of them would have worked. You would have come close to getting stopped out, but there's a reason we put our safety stops where we do, and that's why we do it, because you can see it would have been protected there. And so you would have survived that. And if you wait till the second entry from counting off the double top, with this being a new high right here, then you don't take any heat at all. It just goes straight on up. You would have scalped out. You didn't get any run or anything. Comes back. You're bouncing along. There's another second entry right here. I didn't mark it because we don't have a new low yet, but it's another one you possibly could have taken. I think you need to wait on and see if you get a triple test if you don't get because you don't have a new low, either a new low or a second entry, or triple test. I'm sorry, and you don't get either. You don't get the new low and you don't get a triple test either. It just continues to work higher. We run back up to the upper side, and you do get a break and a new high, and this actually breaks higher first and fails. I like going short there. I marked it green because you could get another push up. You do get another push up, but it doesn't go very far. You really need to wait on a lower high here, and you just don't get a setup for that. And then we run down here, and we actually get a little failed break lower right here on this one, but no setup to go long, so you just kind of sit tight, and we really never get a chance to go long here. And we break out the upper side. Again, you could argue for this one to be green because you do have a break and a new high. I think you need to wait on a lower high. And again, you don't get it. And then we're into the news item here, and you just kind of sit tight until you can see it's kind of settled down by now. And you get a little failed break lower. We're still in this channel here, so I don't see any reason to try to go long. And you don't really want to go short here yet. There is a second entry here, but you're back in the range, so you don't really want to go short. Then you get a lower high. Again, I just don't think you want to go short here. It's a good chance you might try to retest this low, but you're also got the range to contend with. And so, this is another possibility for a green. But I think you're better off to sit tight here and just kind of wait and see what happens. And again, we make a new low. You need a higher low first, and you don't get it until right here. You could call this a higher low, but the signal bar is no good. So you just don't get a setup, really. And you expected prices, when we're coming lower here, that's what you're looking for prices to do. Fill this gap and come to this dashed red line here. And we've tested that multiple times. We finally came back and tested again. Again, no decent signal bar. You do get a higher low here, and that would be a second entry. So it's a possibility that maybe you enter there. But when it comes back and gives you the failure here, right at the key, at the support line of the original range, that's where I like going long. And you can see most of your smarter traders are waiting on that, and it takes off. And it comes back, you get a first entry, second entry again. So I like going long there. Again, we're back in the range. You don't know if the range is still in play because we didn't quite get to the high and we're not quite getting to the low. But you do have a break of this channel and a new low here. And in the bigger picture, we're trending higher. We're making higher highs and higher lows all the way up here. So we're in an uptrend. And the odds are we're probably headed to at least this upper side of this channel again. Let me make this a little bigger here. And so we were right here. So you see that second entry. I like that one. Is that where we were at? I think that's where we were. Yep. We're just working higher. And then you're coming back. You get a break. And you try to make a new low. You don't quite make one, but you make a triple test across here right at the key entry point of this channel. And that's a second entry long as well. So I like going long right there. And off it goes up here. And we actually push through here and go higher. You don't want to be trying to go long up here until you get a good triple test or something first. And you might go short if you got a good setup, which finally you do get a triple test right here. Nice signal bar. I like going short there. You're ways away from the EMA, and you don't know if it's going to get a break, but as long as you got room to get back to the trend channel and the EMA there, you're probably good to go. So I like that one. See if maybe you get a lower high, but you don't get one. And then now you get a break and a couple of swings down and um, chance to go long right there. Again, you probably want to wait on a higher low, so this one I would mark green. And it turns out to be a great move, but um, you don't get the higher low, it just takes off. And we're just looking for prices to make a new high on this retest here, and they do. And it kind of tops out here, and then it makes a lower high. I like going short there on that big bearish bar on a lower high. It's just a first entry, but it's, we try to go higher 3 times there, and it is a lower high. And it's only good for a scalp, maybe a little more, and then you get the break. It tries to go lower and fails and ends up going higher. I don't see any setups I like here. So we do get the break and at least 2 legs up to a new high. I didn't mark this one, but notice here we broke higher and failed and turned down, and that's mostly all bullish. And you're a good ways away from the EMA. You might take that trade. I wouldn't enter on down here, but if when it breaks higher and fails, you could enter on the engulfing bar. Turns out to be a pretty good move. You get a lower high, but that's not a tradable one. It's moved too far. Prices have moved too far. And then you make another leg down, double bottom. It bounces. Of course, there's no setup there. You don't get a high or low. And we're just kind of chopping higher here. And I don't see any decent setups all the way up here. By the time it gets here, it looks like a fairly strong trend. And maybe I argue there's a hidden second entry in there. Plus, maybe you could argue there's a triple test. So maybe you enter there. But it's right at 2:30. It's getting late. And you got to be careful. And so, but maybe you enter there. And so that's the way I saw it today. It was, again, we spent a lot of time just kind of chopping sideways, but really from about 9 o'clock on, we're in an uptrend here. It's not a real super strong one until maybe late in the afternoon. And there's not a lot of volume in it even then, but it is a pretty strong trend going up through there. And really we're trending up from about 9:30 on. Now we do have a correction here. A lot of times that 2-legged correction could be the center of a pattern. They don't always happen in the middle, inside a tight range like that. But I would at least measure it and look for a possible measured move. And so when we went higher, that gives you a target up to there. And that's pretty close to what we got. We actually got a little more. Market got a little overbought up there. So anyway, there it is. We basically played a range except for this channel here and the retest here and then another channel here. So anyway, there it is, and that's pretty much going to wrap up our week. Again, I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving break here. Enjoy the time away. I always tell people don't try to trade those half days, because if you do, it's not typical trading. The volume's going to be thin. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of movement. It's not to say that there can never be movement, but generally it's not worth your time and your effort. And if you do try to trade, you can get stuck in a trade. So I tell people either take the time off and enjoy the time off, or if you really feel like you need to use it to your advantage, use it studying your charts. I can remember being new to all this and being excited to trade, and hey, I got a day off and there's going to be at least some movement till lunchtime, and I would try to trade that stuff, and it was always a disaster. There's just no movement there. So take it from me, don't waste your time with it. You're better off to use that time if you really want to study and use that time to better your trading. Do it studying your charts, or reading through the manual, reading through the rules, that kind of thing. So put the time to good use. But anyway, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's 5 o'clock here. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm done for the week, and we'll be back again. Like I said, no chart lessons tomorrow. I'm taking tomorrow off, and then Thursday and Friday will be holidays, and then we have the weekend, and I'll be back Monday. and I believe that is December 2nd, Monday, December 2nd, if I remember the calendar properly. So, but I'll see you then. I hope everybody has a safe holiday and enjoy it, and we'll see you in a few days. So I'm gonna wrap it up today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.